Why does love feel like this sometimes? You want closeness, reassurance, warmth, and the more you ask for it, the more the other person pulls away. Or maybe you're on the other side. The more serious things get, the heavier your chest feels. You care, but you also feel trapped, overwhelmed, like you need space just to breathe. And in that space, between reaching out and pulling back, both people feel alone. One is thinking, why am I not enough to stay? The other is thinking, why does love feel like pressure? No one is yelling. No one is clearly wrong. But something hurts quietly, over and over again. This is the silent push-pull of anxious and avoidant attachment. And today, we're going to slow it down without blame, without labels meant to shame, so it finally makes sense. Before we go any further, let's make something very clear. Anxious attachment is not being needy. Avoidant attachment is not being cold or heartless. These are not personality flaws. They are protection strategies. There are ways your nervous system learned often very early how to stay emotionally safe. Most people don't live in just one box forever. You might be anxious in one relationship and avoidant in another. You might feel secure with one person and deeply triggered with someone else. So if at any point in this video you recognize yourself, pause. Breathe. This isn't an accusation. It's an explanation. This space is about understanding emotions, not judging them. Let's start with anxious attachment. At its core, anxious attachment is driven by one central fear. What if I'm left? People with anxious attachment often grew up in environments where love felt inconsistent. Sometimes it was there. Sometimes it disappeared. Sometimes they felt deeply connected, and other times emotionally alone. As a result, their nervous system learned something important. Closeness equals safety. Distance equals danger. So in adult relationships, emotional distance doesn't just feel uncomfortable, it feels threatening. When a message goes unanswered, when a partner seems quieter than usual, when plans change or affection shifts, the anxious mind doesn't just notice it. It sounds the alarm. Thoughts start racing. Did I do something wrong? Are they losing interest? Is this the beginning of the end? And here's the part many people misunderstand. Anxious attachment isn't about control. It's about fear, the reaching out, the need for reassurance, the overthinking it. The nervous system trying to calm itself by restoring closeness. To the anxious person, connection isn't a luxury. It's emotional oxygen. Anxious attachment often looks like overanalyzing, tone, timing, and words, needing frequent reassurance, feeling deeply affected by small changes in behavior, struggling to feel secure without external validation, loving intensely, sometimes painfully, but underneath all of this is a very human longing. Please don't leave me emotionally. Anxious people don't want to overwhelm. They want to feel safe. Now let's talk about avoidant attachment. Avoidant attachment is driven by a very different fear. What if I lose myself? Many avoidant individuals grew up learning that closeness came with a cost. Maybe emotions were dismissed. Maybe vulnerability wasn't welcomed. Maybe they had to become independent too early. Their nervous system learned distance equals safety. Too much closeness equals danger. So when intimacy increases, when expectations grow, when emotional needs become visible, the avoidance system goes into defense mode. Not because they don't care, but because closeness feels overwhelming. Inside, the avoidant mind is saying, I need space. This is too much. I feel trapped. I can't breathe. Avoidant attachment isn't about lack of love. It's about fear of emotional engulfment. Avoidant attachment often looks like pulling away when things get serious, shutting down during emotional conversations, minimizing needs, both theirs and others, feeling overwhelmed by dependence, valuing independence above all else. Avoidant people don't want to hurt anyone. They want to feel free and safe at the same time. Now, here's where it gets painful. Anxious and avoidant attachment styles often attract each other. Why? Because each one confirms the other's deepest fear. The anxious person reaches for closeness, gives the avoidant person, feels overwhelmed and pulls away. The anxious person feels abandoned and reaches harder, gives the avoidant person feels pressured and retreats further. And the cycle repeats. The anxious partner thinks, if I just explain better, love harder, stay closer, they'll finally choose me. The avoidant partner thinks, if I just get more space, things will calm down. But instead of calm, both feel misunderstood. The anxious person feels unwanted. The avoidant person feels suffocated. Both are hurting. Both are trying to protect themselves. Imagine this. An anxious partner has had a hard day. They feel emotionally raw and just want to talk. They message their partner, hoping for comfort. The avoidant partner sees the message after a long, draining day. Their nervous system is exhausted. They think, I can't handle emotional intensity right now, so they delay responding. To the anxious partner, that delay feels like rejection. Their mind fills in the silence with fear. To the avoidant partner, the silence feels like relief. They think space will prevent conflict. Same moment, two completely different emotional realities, and neither person is trying to hurt the other. This is where many relationships break down. The anxious person is told, you're too much. The avoidant person is told, you're emotionally unavailable. But attachment isn't about effort, it's about nervous system wiring. You can love deeply and still feel overwhelmed. You can care sincerely and still need space. Understanding this changes everything. Here's the softer way to see it. Anxious attachment says, stay close to stay safe. Avoidant attachment says, stay distant to stay safe. Both developed for a reason. Both once protected you. They are not signs that you are broken. They are signs that you adapted. Healing doesn't start by forcing yourself to be different. It starts by noticing. When you feel the urge to cling, pause and ask, what am I afraid of right now? When you feel the urge to withdraw, pause and ask, what feels overwhelming right now? Awareness creates space. Space creates choice. And choice is where secure attachment begins to grow. 4. Anxious attachment. Healing often involves learning to calm your nervous system internally, not just through reassurance from others. This might look like grounding yourself when anxiety spikes, challenging catastrophic thoughts, building a sense of safety within yourself, allowing pauses without assuming abandonment. You don't need to stop wanting connection. You just need to stop believing distance always means danger. For avoidant attachment, healing often involves learning that closeness doesn't automatically mean loss of freedom. This might look like staying present during emotional conversations, naming your need for space without disappearing, allowing vulnerability in small, safe doses, recognizing that independence and connection can coexist. You don't need to give up your autonomy. You just need to learn that intimacy doesn't erase you. Secure attachment isn't about perfection. It's about balance. It's the ability to say, I need closeness and I can tolerate space. I need independence and I can stay emotionally available. Secure attachment is learned through consistency, self-awareness, emotionally safe relationships, compassion for yourself and others. If you're anxious, hear this. Your need for connection is not a weakness. It's a human need. If you're avoidant, hear this. Your need for space is not selfish. It's a nervous system response. You are not too much. You are not incapable of love. You are learning. And understanding yourself is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of healing. If this explanation brought clarity, comfort, or simply made you feel less alone, you're welcome here. Subscribe for calm psychology insights that help you understand emotions without judgment, without pressure, and without shame. Take a breath. You're not broken. You're becoming aware.